Hello! Welcome to today's writing lesson. So today for our writing lesson, we are going to get started on a book that is an opinion book. So it's a book where we are giving our opinion and we are giving reasons why we feel that way. So what you're going to need today is some type of pencil and one of the booklets that I sent you in your packet. Okay, so you're going to need to have a booklet and a pencil. And the type of writing that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks is called guided writing or modeled writing. And that is where I'm going to be writing and showing you on here. And then at home, you can be doing the very same book at home. So the work that we do together on the video, you can also be doing right with me at home. Okay, so we'll see how this works. Okay, all right. So as we know, we're writing about our opinions. And the other day, our writing lesson was about our opinions are things that we say to people that tell them what we think. Okay, so some of the words that we talked about were I think and because. Those are super important words that we use when we give our opinion because we're telling someone that we feel a certain way, but we also have to have reasons or they're not going to want to listen to what we say, because if we just say, I think cupcakes are the best, we didn't really give any reasons why we felt that way. So we want to make sure that when we have an opinion, we have lots of reasons why we feel that way. So as a class, I got a lot of different ideas from you guys, and I went ahead and I thought we would really work on a book about being kind. And the question was, what do you think would make the world a better place? And a lot of you said that being kind would make the world a better place. So like spreading kindness to others would make the world a better place. So that's what our book is going to be about. So today we're going to do just like we would with any book that we begin. We're just going to start with the front cover today. Okay, and when we think about the front cover, we need to think of a title. We need to think of what the picture on the front cover is going to show so we can show what the book is mostly about, okay? So the title of the book is going to be Being Kind. Because don't you think that our book is going to be about being kind? Like that's what it's mostly about, okay? So our title is going to be Being Kind. And then our picture needs to show that somehow, okay? So remember that our picture always has to match our words no matter what, okay? So let's start with writing the title. I'm going to tell you something special about titles. The titles of books must begin with a capital letter. So the first word of the title should have a capital at the beginning. The second word of a title should have a capital at the beginning. The third word of a title should have a capital at the beginning. You guys catch my drift? Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you just a second because I realize that I may not have given you enough time to get a booklet and a pencil. So why don't you go ahead and do that for a moment? And I'm going to be thinking about my picture while you're doing that. What picture is going to be on the front cover to show someone being kind? I think I have a good idea. Okay. All right. Okay, so you should have your book ready. You should have your pencil, and we're going to get going. I'm also going to be using a whiteboard because that's going to be a tool that we're going to be using to help us stretch our words and sound them out, okay? So I want you guys to think about the word being, okay? Being. It's actually a word that has two parts, two syllables, being. And when we count the syllables, it can actually help us spell it. Being, okay? So be is actually a snap word. Okay, and we're just going to do a quick little word study activity. You do not have to do this at home, but I want you to be thinking about it. So this is how we spell the word be. And it has the two sounds. It's one of those words that we could say the two sounds and they're there. So E, B, and it's the long E sound. Well, if you can spell B, you can spell a lot of other words too. You can spell we. You can spell he. And you can spell e. So if you can spell B, you can spell all of these other words, okay? So that's one way to help us remember the word be, is that it has the same part as a lot of one of our sight words, okay? All right, so now it's time to add that to our title. Remember what I said about the title. Now it's time for you to get your pencil out, okay? We're going to write the word being together. So remember what I said about the title. The first letter has to be a capital letter. Okay, so remember, a capital B is straight line down, back to the top, backwards C, backwards C. Or another way to think of it is straight line down, back to the top, make the number 3. And that's how you make the letter B. Okay. So then our next letter, so our capital B, now our next letter needs to be lowercase. Okay. So we know that the next letter in the word B is the letter E. Okay. So E is push out to the right, curve up, letter C. Okay. So if we think about the shape of the E, it's push to the right, curve up, make a C. Pretty easy when you think of it like that, huh? Okay, so now we need to think. We're not just writing the word be, now we're writing the word being. So who out there can remember that special chunk of letters that we know that says ing? We like to call them the Ing brothers. Okay, remember that. I-N-G. Those are the Ing brothers, okay? So they all work together, these set of brothers, to spell ing. So we're going to add that to the end. So now we have being. Okay, I'm going to hold it a little bit closer so you can see it. So now we have the word being. Being kind is going to be our title. Being. 2-part word. Okay, I'm going to let you have just a minute to finish writing being. And then we're going to move on to the word kind. Okay, so we have being is our first word. Now, just like when we write sentences, there has to be a space between being and kind. Now, you guys know that Mrs. Achari uses just one finger to make a space because I have wider fingers than you. If you have little teeny tiny fingers, you might want to use 2 fingers to make sure that we can see the space between the words, okay? You decide, or you can just use 1 and kind of move it over a little bit. But I'm just going to use 1, and we're going to write our first letter after our finger. Remember that it has to be a capital letter too, okay? So kind, okay, there's 2 options for that letter, isn't there? Okay, so it can either be copycat C or the letter K. And I'm going to tell you that in the case of the word kind, the letter that we're working on is K. So that's the first letter in the word kind. Why don't you go ahead and write that, and I'll write it with you. So make sure you put a space between your words. Straight line down. Remember, we do slant in, slant out. Straight line down, slant in, slant out. I'm going to erase this one. Straight line down, slant in, slant out. Do it one more time. Straight line down, slant in, slant out. Okay, letter K. Okay, this is a word that we can definitely listen to the sounds in. Okay, so let's push up our sounds. K, I, D. Ooh, how many sounds did you hear? Let's try it again. K, I, D. I heard 4 sounds. Okay, so let's run our finger. K, I. What letter makes that sound? Yes, that is the letter I. It's a long vowel. So what does the letter I look like? Straight line down, little dot. Okay. So now after you have your I, you're going to take your finger or your pencil and you're going to run it under those 2 letters, and we're going to say the 2 sounds that we already have, and then we're going to move on to the 3rd sound. K, ein. K, ein. Very good. That is the letter N. K, eind. K, eind. Okay, very good. Remember, a donut and then a door is the letter D, or a diaper in the back. Okay. All right, so there's our title. Being kind. Being kind. Okay, so before we keep going with our picture, I want you to write your name down at the bottom. I'm going to write Mrs. Achari on the bottom, so I'm going to let you guys write your name. If you could write your first and last name, that would be awesome. So while I'm writing my name, you should be writing your name on the bottom. Okay. All right, so we have our title, Being Kind. We have our name on the bottom. That's our, because we're the author of this book and we're the illustrator, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to get up. I want you to move around because now we're going to talk about our picture and I'm hoping that we'll be able to draw it together, okay? So if you need a minute to get up and move around, go ahead and pause the video and we'll get started when you get done. You want me to give you something to do? Okay, how about 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats, and 10 push-ups? Go. 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats, 10 push-ups. Okay, I'm glad you all got the wiggles out and it's time to you're ready again to get moving. Okay, so I know you guys all love drawing pictures, so I think you're going to really enjoy this part. So our picture on the front should show somebody being kind to somebody else, okay? I am going to model my picture. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to do my picture if there's something that you would like to do better, okay? But if you'd like to do my picture, I'm going to go ahead and draw it together with you right now, okay? So what my picture is going to be is, I want to tell you one day when somebody showed me kindness. I was on my way to the high school and I had my arms full of books and a bunch of stuff, so it was really hard for me to get the door open. And one of the high schoolers stopped in to open the door for me. So I thought that was very kind because they could have just let me sit there and struggle trying to open the door, but instead they opened it for me. So that is definitely showing kindness and it's also showing respect, okay? So I'm going to draw a picture of that. So first I'm going to draw the door. So you guys know when you're going into the lunchroom and there's like that big line of doors like this. So that's where this happened. And you guys know what doors I'm talking about, those super heavy doors. So here I was standing here and I was getting ready to open the door, or I was trying to, but so all I did was straight lines, you guys. I did a straight line and then I did 1, 2, 3 straight lines to make the doors if you're going to do it with me, okay? And then see right here, I wanted to put this detail, of course, the handles on the door, because we want to make sure that we can see the handles that we grab. And then it makes it pretty obvious that these are doors, okay? So if you're wanting to draw that, that's what our door should look like. So here's what's funny, you guys. After I drew the doors, I was getting ready to draw myself and I was going to start down here with my head, but I had to think for a minute. I'm so much taller than that compared to the door. So I'm about this height compared to the handle on the door. So to first start my body, I'm going to draw my head. Okay, so draw a circle for the head. And then for my body today, I'm going to draw a triangle because it'll look like a dress, okay? So there's a triangle for my body, so it looks kind of like a dress. So if you want to do that on your own. Okay, and then, of course, my legs. And I have 2, so we need to make sure we have 2 legs, right? Okay, so go ahead and draw the legs. And then this is where we're going to come in with the books, okay? So here's my arms. And in my arms I put my arms out like this, okay? So basically I was holding the books. And then in my arms, I'm going to make a rectangle. And then I'm going to put some lines to make it look like I'm carrying a bunch of stuff, okay? So see how my hands are full in the picture? Okay. So then, of course, I need to have eyes, and a mouth, and some hair. So So go ahead and you draw the eyes, mouth, and hair. I know what good artists you guys are, so I have a feeling this is not going to be a problem at all. So then we're going to draw one more person, and that's the boy who was opening the door for me, okay? So we're going to draw him. He was a little bit taller, so we'll draw a circle over here. And for his body, we're going to do kind of a triangle like that, and then two big rectangles for his legs. Okay. So see how his body is a triangle and then there's his legs. Because we don't want to draw stick people because nobody's really a stick, right? Okay, and then we're going to put some shoes on him. And then his one arm is going to be reaching out to grab the door handle. So we need to make his arm touching the door handle, okay? And then his other arm might just be over here, kind of on his side, okay? And then of course he needs eyes and a mouth and some hair too, and a nose. Okay, so what do you guys think? How's that look for a picture on the front cover of somebody grabbing the door and holding it open for somebody? That's a way to show kindness, isn't it? All right, kiddos. So that is all we are going to do today. But let me just recap what we did. We came up with a title for our book that told what our book is mostly about, which is about reasons why we think people should be kind. We also drew a very detailed picture to match to show what our book is mostly about, okay? So when we draw our picture, we need to make sure we have plenty of details, okay? Sorry, I have a little itch in my throat. So another thing maybe I'm just going to point out before I let you go is I'm going to put a big smile on my face because the boy, when he showed me kindness, made me super happy because I knew I wasn't going to have to struggle to open that door. So once again, if you decided to draw my picture, I hope the same picture that I did, I hope that it turned out great and now you can color it on your own. If not, and you drew your own picture, I'd love to see maybe some of your other ideas if you want to send me a pic of what picture you drew, okay? All right, so I will be talking to you guys later on today about some reasons why you think it's good to be kind. And then we'll continue on with our book next week. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.